I can hardly walk. What up, fam? I just want to preface this video by saying that I really appreciate you all. And I thank you for all the support you've given me. Just seeing you out there today at the California International Marathon, those that came up to me saying they watched the channel and love my videos, I thank you all. Those that passed me in the later stages of the race that told me to hop onto the train and push me and told me to, you know, give it my all, I really appreciate it. As many of you probably know, I was attempting to go for the Olympic trials qualifying standard of sub 2:18 in the marathon. In this video, I'm going to go over how the race went down from start to finish. I got my Strava on my other phone. I'm going to go over splits, what happened, how I felt. I also apologize for those that were around me after the race. I was actually really emotional. Marathons can be pretty emotional. It was more of like a happy tears kind of thing. I did cry. And I really appreciate all those that came up to me after the race, you know, to make sure I was okay and stuff like that. But all right, so that being said, I lined up in the seated corral right next to the pacer for 2:17:59. We were about probably, I would say, 6 seconds back. For a race like this, for qualifying standards, at least for the OTQ, they want gun time, not chip time, so there's about a 6 seconds difference to make up over the course of 26.2 miles was pretty much nothing at all, but I was about 6 seconds back from the front. To be honest, we went out probably a little hard or a little too hot the first half, but I'll go over the splits with you. I'll have the splits up on screen from Strava. Follow me on there, Joshua Sanchez. But this is what we went through the miles in. I was tucked in a pack. I wasn't by myself, obviously, in these early miles, trying to, you know, stay away from the wind and just finding my rhythm and my groove. Didn't really have much of a warm-up, didn't really have much of strides, so it's kind of just going by feel. But through the first mile, even with the 6 seconds to the front, my watch split, give or take, you know, plus or minus 10 feet, 5:13, mile 1. Mile 2, 5:13. Mile 3, 5:12. Mile 4, 5:16. Mile 5, 5:10. Okay, so there were a couple of 5:10s in here, which was literally too close to my lactate threshold. 5:13, 5:15. 5:13 for 6, 5:15 for 7, 5:18 for 8, 5:16 for 9, 5:10 for 10, 5:12 for 11, 5:15 for 12, 5:15 for 13. I was literally right on the dot down to a T, even at the 12-mile split that I talked about in my video that I posted yesterday about fueling. 103 flat, 5:15 on the dot. Even through half marathon is 5:15 on the dot. I went through half in 1:08:45, 10 seconds faster than I ran at Rock and Roll San Jose for the half marathon distance as a split, and about a minute faster than the 2019 Olympic trials attempt I had tried to do for my second marathon at the time. And I felt way better than I did in 2019. And I've also gotten better at something else I'll talk about in a sec. But basically, the pack kind of started pulling away. I started ending up in no man's land. I ended up with a pretty bad side stitch. Those around me may have noticed I was poking out my lower right abdomen to the point where I couldn't get in a deep breath. So I kind of just like, you know, dug in there with my hands, stretched while I was running a little bit. And it did eventually subside, but I had to slow down substantially. As far as the pace leading up to half, I'm gonna be honest, it did feel a little hot. I probably would have fared better just going 5 seconds slower, or maybe straight to the back of that pack, the 2:17:59 pack. But I decided to stay in the middle or up front, but still behind people so the wind can take it. Because of that, my fueling plan was a little bit different. Since it felt a little bit hotter, I actually took more gels. I had a hard time getting fluid, I'll mention that in a sec, but I took 8 gels over the course of this race. And the fluid stations, not to bash on the fluid stuff, but the cups are probably only filled to 2 ounces, even though they were 5-ounce cups. And by the time you grab it and shake it, I probably literally got like half an ounce per cup, which could have, you know, been a dehydration factor, could have been in there a little bit. But as far as for the entire marathon, I didn't feel like lightheaded, like I'm gonna die. I did feel fatigue and I felt somewhat bonky, but it wasn't like I'm gonna die type feeling or seeing stars. So the fueling could have been better, should have gone a little bit slower, but again, we're at halfway. So after the halfway mark, you make this left, between 12 and 13 is just straight uphill. Definitely, it is a fast marathon. It's net downhill, obviously, but the uphill is definitely trash with quads. I started developing some anterior shin pain on my right foot. Some old injury starts creeping back up. A little bit of left hip pinching and then, right sciatica, but still trucking through. In the later stages of the race, 16 and 17, I had a hard time trying to lift my legs up. I had no power, so kind of just trucking away. I even thought about dropping out a couple times or just walking for a little bit, but I told myself I wasn't, and I just gutted through it. So, back to the miles. Mile 14, 5:22. This is where I start slowing down. Mile 15, 5:30. Mile 16, 5:34. Mile 17, 5:33. Mile 18, 5:44. Mile 19, 5:54, mile 20, 6:05, mile 21, 6:21, mile 22, 6:31, mile 23, 6:20, mile 24, 6:05. So I came back a little bit. I'll put up the chart on screen from Strava, but like it was steady, drop, and then kind of came back up a little bit. Maybe it was from the camaraderie from those around me that were pushing me for me to push and continue to push through fatigue and discomfort. Mile 22, 6:31, mile 23, 6:20, mile 24, 6:05, mile 25, 6:01, mile 26, I told myself I was going to give it my all. You guys know that I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, but you probably don't know that, but I imagine the scene where Android 16 was about to get his head smashed by Cell.
You have the strength. Just let it go.
And that's why I told myself, just let it go. Except there were some explicits in there, just effing let it go. And so I picked it up the last mile, and I went even further beyond. That's what I told myself, and I ran that last mile in 5:46, so I had some energy left in the tank, and that last 0.1 was also at 5:30-ish. Overall for the entire race, just thinking as I'm going, as I'm talking to you fam, there was a hard time taking tangents. I feel like groups didn't really take the tangents the way they should. They were just in the middle of the road the entire time. Could have saved probably, 20 seconds or so, but whatever. I am really happy with this performance. It is a 3-minute PR for me. Maybe I'm just not there yet, to be honest, to run. I have the potential, I believe, to be able to run sub 2:18 in the marathon. I just gotta run what I ran for the first half, just ×2. I had a blow up, but like, I'm getting better at blowing up. Like, this wasn't like a complete disaster like Chicago or Jacksonville. This is my official 3rd marathon. I dropped out of Houston, as you fam probably know. And I'm really proud with the performance, but I am a little disappointed. But I'll get them next time, still got time. I'm thinking about doing grandmas to try to go again. This coming track season, I'm probably gonna focus on the 5K a little bit to get my 5K time down, to get my speed to like around 14:45, 14:35. I am gonna do a video on what it takes to break 2:18 in the marathon, and 14:45, 14:35 speed is the minimum I would say you probably need to be able to do so on that end of the physiology. And then build for grandmas, and hopefully we'll get it done. And yeah, and that's a training block. Fam, I'm having a hard time getting camera people and stuff like that. I wish I can pump out more high quality videos for you fam, more funny, entertaining. Hope you're enjoying the educational content that I've been putting out. They haven't been performing that well, but if you haven't watched them, go out and watch them and smash that like button, leave a comment, it really helps the video. And yeah, and that's the marathon training block. I love you all, and thank you all for continuing to support me. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for when I post my next video. Catch you guys next time. Peace.